All right, you're right up there.
That was an acrylic pour, and I just want some thoughts on, should I do a painting over it or add?
No, it looks cool.
Oh my God, Colleen, where do I start? No.
That's beautiful.
No.
How did you do that? Like, how did you get the effect?
It's acrylic pour. You just pour. You do the background, it's all white, that's how I did it, and then just add your colors and just, I use a blow dryer, I blow it out where it's
Okay, yeah.
Is it a canvas board?
I'm sorry?
Is it a-
Yeah, it's can. Yes.
So you use the chemical in there?
Yes.
You have to use the chemical.
I can't remember what that stuff's called.
You gave the name of it to me and I
Yeah,
thought,
I've
I have two
The
containers.
drops of stuff that.
It's like some kind of flow, yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember what it's called, but I used it, but it didn't make too many sounds, honestly, because you could tell, you could see them.
Yeah.
Those are so much fun.
They are fun. It's hard though. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
So, should they
You just keep that.
make any changes or
No.
No,
not leave it?
I think it's gorgeous.
Will it be in your show?
Maybe,
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, that's why I want the pictures from the Chamber of Commerce.
I think it looks like a galaxy
Yeah, you're
or
gonna
a
get
nebula or
stuff out,
something,
right?
yeah.
It's definitely space.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, space, yeah, it reminds me.
me.
We just watched the new Star Trek show, so it's like it's reminding me of it.
I see little faces, I see
Yeah.
faces.
Side upright, upside
Yeah,
down.
I did.
Yeah.
Which is right.
Which end is up?
And you know what?
Good question.
That it's just I just love the colors of it. That turquoise that you have coming out through, like near the center, it just really
Yep.
draws your eye. And the purple.
Yes, it's like a center locus.
If you stretch your imagination, I almost see like along the sides, that's like snow and, you know, sort of going up hills and you're heading right in through the trees at the top. That almost could be like trees.
And she's been telling her.
Now, why did you do that?
Because now what do you see? Now what do you see?
Oh, wow.
Okay, now
Yeah.
I see a waterfall. Now I see a waterfall.
I see people moving along or
Rorschach
something.
tests.
Now I see a
Glacier
waterfall. Glacier Park, yeah.
You know what, it's one of Lance's photographs.
What windshield
Under-
series?
Could be,
Water.
it could be,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Hey, you turn that either way, I can
Yeah.
imagination and see a whole cool thing there.
Did you ever
That's
think
it.
about putting a gold foil or?
Yes, actually I did.
Okay. I've added some, like gold ink to some of my abstracts in those cases, and that'll help to make it pop in a couple places. But
Yeah.
it may
It's
also
good.
just grab your eye's
I like
attention,
the
just draw it into that one small area, so you can play around.
I should like it better. Okay, me too.
You're welcome. You know, I wasn't thinking, I probably should have given everybody like a 5-minute window here. Does anybody want to go and grab more snacks, dessert or anything? No, we're good? Okay. All right, so who wants to go next?
Why don't you just go like that? Yeah, start right here and just go around the room like that.
You have to go up by the mantle when you.
All right, why don't we go ahead? Mary, do you have stuff with you?
Yeah, I do. I have two things. So, and there's a story behind them.
I like stories.
Yeah, this is a great story.
That's a good story.
So I got this email from Sweetwater that said they're going to have an Appalachian art exhibit in their car.
I know, they are finally calling an artist,
Yeah, and they're
artist call again.
Artists, and I
It has
thought.
been a
Yeah, could you head up there to the,
Yeah.
that way he'll get it on the camera?
So I thought, you know what, I would really like to try that. And it reminded me that I saw this little house down the road from where I live. I've been looking at it for years, and it's this kind of little rundown house, but it had this big, huge, colorful wreath on the door, and you could tell that somebody loved this house, even though it was a little rundown. So I kind of monitored it over the years, and recently I noticed that it's boarded up. So I stopped, I took pictures, and I said, and I've been trying to draw this house for years. So I finally did a sketch with pen and ink, and then I did colored pencil and then watercolor. So this is it. And I posted it on my Facebook page. So my neighbor gets back to me and says, I know that house. My friend grew up in it. So she connected me with the owner of the house. I had this whole conversation, well, not the owner, the girl that grew up in the house. Her mother lived there since she was 19 years old. Her father built the house. Like it was probably like just some, it reminded me like maybe it was a coal miner's house or something.
What's the food behind it?
It was on the, it was on
Don't
the,
step on roots.
it's on the edge of the wood. And so I'm going to send her a copy, and I might just do another painting of the house the way it was with the colorful wreath on it.
Yeah, oh, that'd be nice.
But her mother lived there till she was in her 70s.
Wow.
And it's a little house with one bedroom, a kitchen and living room. I don't even know how they fit it in this tiny little house.
Is that in Minden?
But, no, this happens to be in Oakdale.
Where?
Okay.
It's on Maple Lane.
I could say.
Is it near the missile thing?
Is it, by the missile thing or by the pond?
I went to
No, it's by that one, it's on the back roads by that church. It's before you get into the diner, if you
Okay.
hang a right, and
Okay.
you go down the back road.
Uh-huh.
This is where this house is, but it's all boarded up and it's sad.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of Appalachia. So,
It's kind of,
so I
behind
did that, and I did it, I'm still struggling with
It's like
controlling
country.
watercolors, so I did it with pencil.
There's an old Nike missile site.
Well, yeah, obviously I can't. And then I brought, this is an older painting I did, but I thought this is kind of an Appalachian feel. This was from a hike that I took in Settler's Cabin Park some years ago, or a couple years ago. And so I thought, well, I'm just gonna frame this. I think I'm gonna put it in like a gold frame because it's hard to see in this light, but there's yellow flecks along with the pink, and that might pull it up. So,
I like the color you put at the end of the trail, the blue, purple, whatever that's.
oh, yeah, like
That draws
purple.
your eye.
Yeah. I struggled with this because it was very flat when I started it. And then I learned about the magic color of pink to pull things out. And so I learned a lot with this. But anyway, I think those are going to be my Appalachian
oh, nice.
things. So,
Thank you.
anyway, thank you.
Lance, do you want to go next?
Sure.
We just following along,
Yeah.
and you don't have to keep asking.
Yeah.
I didn't bring the actual paintings for a couple of reasons.
What, bad weather and
Bad
24 by
weather,
36s?
Bad weather, they're being varnished, they're
Yeah.
photographers or whatever.
Oh, that's
So-
right, you're using Alex now too.
So, anyway, this is one, unless you're on Facebook, you hadn't seen it. This was a commission that I had gotten through a friend's friend who's visited the North Hills with the shows, and she and her brother and sister-in-law have there's a family cabin out in Wyoming, and the mother's passed, so, it's still in the family, but they wanted something for the sister that's actually going to be living out there. And so this lady contacted me, sent me the picture, said, would you be able to do this? And I said, sure, yeah, we can do this, no problem. And she sent me a couple different shots of this cabin with a lot of pine trees all around it in all the worst spots. Okay, so I had to work with different angles and kind of, this is what it looked like if the trees were shifted. Anyway, this, and tell me if this reflects or not, but this is what ended up being,
How big is that in reality?
it's 8 by 10.
It is a
That's a
It's just an
really
8 by 10.
cabin.
Yeah. So, but there's mountains
Very
in
nice.
the back and all, and I don't know how many acres they have,
What's
but
the medium? Is it a photo?
that's acrylic. That's
Wow, that's
acrylic.
really nice.
That's beautiful. It looks like a photograph from here.
Yeah.
Lance, I have a question. Why did you put acrylic under glass? Just a
This is
question.
a print.
That's a
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I don't normally put it on glass, but it's a print. But Alex does fabulous work. It looks like the painting when you take it out of the,
Did they love it?
she cried.
Did
She cried at the rusty nail. We didn't
Success.
fix it. She cried at the rusty nail.
Success.
So, my youngest niece got married last year out in where the Grand Tetons are, another Wyoming shot. Anyway, I had said, what do you want for your wedding gift? And she said, I gotta have a painting. I said, okay, well, give me some shots, because she and her husband traveled all around to these great parks and such, but she wanted one from the wedding in that area. So she gave me these 3 really large images to work from, and I decided to land on a nice tranquil morning sunrise. So this, I think, will go into your mood show.
Nice.
Teton's tranquility.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about the reflection on this.
That's okay. That's
another
beautiful.
photo by Alex, so I'm gonna really promote.
What size did you do that one with?
16 by 20?
16 by 20,
Yeah,
nice.
so
And what's the medium?
acrylic.
Beautiful.
The last one is my most recent work, and again, I apologize, it's just on a piece of copy paper, but it's being varnished, so I can't really work with it here. So, everybody's seen the Christmas Story movie?
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, some friend, a college friend of mine went to Cleveland last year, toured around and took pictures of the house.
Yeah.
And right out in their front window, they have
That
the
way.
lamp, right? Iconic image. So I saw that and I said, this looks like some fun. I know people will love it. And I thought maybe it'd be a nice gift back to them. So anyway, I started it last October and just finally finished the lamp.
Nice. That's nice.
It's 11 by 14, so it's a little small here.
My daughter was there a week and a half ago.
Was she?
That's a major award.
So anyway, and I had one more, but I can't show it to you because the owner hasn't seen it yet, and I don't want anything leaking out.
Okay.
So we'll just hold on that, but that's it. Thank you.
All right. Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I have to get my panties in.
Okay.
Need some help?
Very good.
Which one are these? This one, Cindy, right here?
Behind,
Right here?
the 2 behind in the black ring. These are different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Very nice.
I started,
Goods.
someone gave, this first one,
Uh-huh.
picture was taken in 1944. And it was during World War II. And I lived in Imperial. And this was on Wash Day, and the reason you know it was on Monday is because the clothes, and our mothers only washed clothes on Monday and ironed on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, during this time, I had 4 uncles in the service in World War II. And my Uncle Gib came home for a leave. And he came up and he took this picture, and my mom was so upset with him because it was wash day and we were just like bums.
Because everything was in the wash.
Ragamuffin. My dad bought this really neat big metal airplane, and we used to be able to ride it. So we're out in the backyard, and my uncle came, and he took this picture, and my mom was really upset with him.
That's a great composition.
Yeah, it
This
is
was-
very good.
I've done 8 family photographs. This was the first one I did. And that's when I started to do the palette knife and impasto thing. And my uncle left. And he was taken to England. And he was killed in Normandy. So this is a really special painting, and it was the first one I did. Then I proceeded to do a total of 8 family photos, so black and white photos. They ran from 1935 through 1956. They're hanging under my house. This one was, this is a G-clay because the original is still hanging in my house, and I made this for my niece, or my family members. And this is my grandfather Ingalls' store, general store in Imperial. He was a major miner underground, the Enlow mines over in Imperial and everywhere. And then he quit that and he had opened this general store. It was next door, a movie theater. And this was 1938, we estimate, because that's a 1938 Pontiac. And so, this is my uncle, my Papa Bingle. And what makes this a lot of fun is the fact that his last name was Engel, E-N-G-E-L. Whoever made the sign spelled it wrong. E-N-G-L-A. And so all these buildings were his.
Yeah.
Wow. So plus the house and all the property.
Oh, nice.
On both sides of Route 30 going by Chuck's Bar and the Coles Pub. And he owned all that property, and he had 2 major gardens there. And when my grandfather died around 1968 in October, he usually went down to Cummings Pharmacy drugstore and bought the Sunday paper on a Saturday night, but then he disappeared. Nobody could find him. And so my mom was at bingo at the firehouse, and my dad was drinking at Persian's Tavern. And they went looking for him, and they found him underneath the back of the store, which was all open. And he was sitting on one of his wooden benches, and he had pulled out all the tomato stakes, the wooden ones, and he apparently was sitting there sharpening them for the next season, and he died of a heart attack on the bench. So that's where they found my Papa Bingle. Yeah.
It's like The Godfather. The Godfather, remember the scene?
He's sharpening
Those
the-
tomato plants?
He was going to kill a vampire.
Sitting there.
My grandfather was not a godfather. He
Story.
made beg for everything. And we have to beg him, Papa, would you go downstairs and get a can of pickled cauliflower? Because they pickled all that stuff in the garden. You'd have to ask him 3 or 4 times. He would never answer you. And then he would apparently get up, he would go downstairs and get you a jar. You would have to ask him, Papa, would you go, he closed the store in 1944. And he had those little, I'm talking too much, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You know those little black snakes you would light, and they would go.
Oh, yeah.
He had those in the store. Papa, would you go over? Never answer you. Eventually we'd go get the key, we'd go and get the store, and we would do them on the sidewalk. So there's a lot of strange memories.
Which one is you in that picture?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my sister Judy, who's 5. Me, I'm 3, and my brother's 1. We're all 2 years apart. Yeah. But I have some other helpers. I'll bring him in next time. Beg me not to.
No, that was wonderful.
But the other ones,
Is the building still there?
no.
You said by Chuck's Liquor, huh?
No, well, between Chuck and Cole's Pub,
Okay.
it was Persian's Tavern. The property's there, that was
You're
one of
up,
my
so you might as well get
gardens.
stuff.
Okay.
And now they bought it, and it's a parking lot.
Aw.
So, it's a parking lot. And they closed Cole's Pub. And Missy Miyachi, who now runs the bar, was the youngest Miyachi on my street. There were 3 Miyachi families. She had her birthday yesterday. She's the youngest Miyachi. That Chuck Bar is 90 years old.
Was that the teacher, Miyachi?
What?
Was that the same teacher from the junior high?
Kathy Miyachi
Yes.
married Bill Miyachi, who
Okay.
lived by me.
Yeah. I knew Kathy Miyachi for.
I know, but Kathy
did.
married Bill Miyachi. Billy was-
Lance knows everybody.
My husband Jamie's from Pittsburgh, so he's 7 degrees away from all of this.
Oh, wow.
But this fascinates me.
Because I'm not from Pittsburgh either, and I just like the
7
connections
degrees
are
is
amazing.
I know, and no matter what, there's
Yeah.
always like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you know, so.
Yeah.
That's my next door neighbor's favorite boy's cousin.
And I go, that's,
They're all related.
you know, and I should have said that please introduce yourself when you get up too, for anybody who might not know.
So I'm Stephanie Lancy. I'm new to the group. I'm new to the area. So a lot of my paintings have to do with like getting to know the area. So settlers cabin, like in the fall. And since I spent most of my life without 4 seasons, having seasons and the colors really influenced my work last year. And so much, like, all my colors went really crazy. Like, just experimenting and trying to figure my way through how to figure out the light, the light and really follow the light and shadow. And so this is from last fall, and now I'm really trying to simplify my palette. Like I'm like really trying to force myself into 2 tubes of paint, not like every tube of paint. And I'm also trying to do more figures right now. And so I've been spending like the last month in the mornings just sketching portraits. So the next time you see my work, it'll be probably completely different, but I really enjoyed just trying to figure, again, how to draw trees. So I grew up in the desert. And so like the trees are just really magical here. So that's where I'm at with that. I struggled a lot with it.
It's got good lighting.
Yeah.
This was actually a path, and because I couldn't figure out the colors, and it was blue, and so it's like, oh, the stream. I'm like, all right. Way to go with
It's a stream.
It's a stream.
You're using your artistic license.
Yeah. Like how to tie, because before I turned this blue, it looked like 2 separate paintings because I couldn't figure out how to reflect back the sky. And then, the warm colors bring things forward, and the cool goes back, and then I got cool down. It was all just a big mess. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just stop. And that's where that one landed. And then this other one, it's like my theme of hiking trails. This is from a trip we did in Maine. When all the water just and the erosion just exposes all the roots of the trees. This one took me like a month. Because if you were to peel away the colors, there's like 10 different versions. This one took me an hour.
Wow.
So it's like, how is that? I'm just like, I was like, that's exactly, there's only one layer. Like I didn't have to think about acrylic.
Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. God, I wish I could just do like that, a painting an hour. That'd be awesome. But yeah.
Did you do it on site?
No.
Or from a photo?
Photo, yeah. I have an art degree in photography.
Oh, okay.
And so I was really, that's when I was a teenager, I'm like, I'm gonna be a photographer. And then I was a total introvert, so I had no way to make money as a photographer. I shot one wedding, it was a disaster. And then I was like, okay, so now I just use my phone and paint from my phone. I asked plein air with all the insects.
Yeah.
The wind will blow, and like everything's, I could do plein air for about an hour.
Well, if it was successful as that, then you'd be okay.
Oh, yes.
The girl who got mine.
Anyway, that's-
Oh, that's,
That's right, I forgot.
Stay tuned for something that's not gonna have trees in it.
Promise.
Baron. Oh, these are beautiful. All right. Are you an artist as well? Did you bring something?
No,
No, okay, just
this came from
I heard there's good cookies.
support. No, you are more than welcome. What's that? Yeah, you're next. Yeah, I thought it'd go down this way. And then about,
You're
thank
gonna get the
you.
big boy out.
I get one. I brought a big one and a little one.
Here we are.
That'll look nice above the mantle.
This is the worst place to sit. I can't see anything now.
Oh, yeah, there's a chair there you can pull in.
You can watch it on the TV.
I can hold.
If I wanted to watch it on the TV, I would be on the couch with my bra.
Oh, nice.
Nice and warm.
Yeah, that didn't take an hour.
Hold that up.
Very beautiful.
There you go.
Very nice.
Oops.
What are you doing?
Fix it.
We were zooming in.
I like that.
You're hiding behind your sheet.
I'm like beheaded. Kim Freitaler, if you know, I run the North Hills Art Center in Ross Township. I also teach oil and acrylic painting, and I teach the same class twice a week, every session. So I do a lot of demos, and I tend to gesso them over because I'd be buried in canvases. But this particular canvas I did as a demo to start, and I left it on the easel, and somebody approached me and said, "Can I buy that?" And I said, "It's half done." And they said, well, finish it. So I just finished it, so I still have to varnish it, it's not done yet. But I work from photographs, and I like to bring in photographs because I tend to alter the photograph somewhat. The roof in the background to me was very unattractive, and I wound up making a lot more of the background and making them smaller. So I kind of faked it, but that to me is the fun of starting with this and winding up with something totally different. But
Is it oil?
it's oil.
Can you hold it up a little bit for people way
For
in
the
the
people in
back?
the cheap seats.
Very nice.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it's very beautiful.
I love the black face sheep in the center.
Which way?
It's not
The black sheep.
I love the, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
But, yeah, so, I mean, I just use them really to demonstrate painting techniques in my classes, and I really don't get too invested in them, but sometimes my students get angry when I come.
Jessa, yeah.
Can I ask what, are you using brush or use,
It's brushed.
just brush?
Um,
Because it looks like you were like rubbing.
Do you know what a mop brush is?
No.
It's like mopping the floor. It looks like a makeup brush, like a blush brush.
Okay.
And when you
Soft.
apply paint, it's soft and it's very fluffy, and you can just go over it, it just blurs everything.
Yeah, I
So-
use one.
With acrylic, it's trickier.
No, I'm doing oil now.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's definitely a fun.
Okay.
And then, this is just a little thing I did for myself, and I didn't intend to just, I lost a cat over the holidays, and she was 16. This is Helene. And,
So good.
so I kind of miss her. She was an obnoxious cat, she was a biter. And it's the hard ones that I rescued a lot of cats. I used to volunteer at Animal Friends, and then I started with 0 cats and wound up with 4. So then I had to leave. But she was going to be euthanized because she was so upset being in a cage. She stopped eating and went into liver failure and was jaundiced, and they couldn't touch her to treat her, so they were going to put her down. And I said, "Give her to me," and they gladly handed her to me. And she spent the last 14 and a half years with me, and she was still a biter. But we had an understanding. So, yeah, she passed away a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, you know what, I have this picture, I'm just gonna paint her. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but.
I love the dog in the background.
Oh, that's Oliver. I have 2 rescue dogs as well. Oliver was from a hoarder down in Greene County. I have the wonderful, wonderful job in that I can bring my dogs to work. And a baby gate on the office, if you've ever been to the Arts Center. Half the time, people who poke their head into our office are looking to see if there's dogs there that day. They rarely say hello to me. And it's usually always the dogs. Some of them bring treats, I don't get treats, dogs get treats. They go to the bank drive-through on Fridays. I do the banking, and Oliver practically goes through the slot at the teller's window, and he stares them down, because they get dog treats. So they come, the two of them come for a ride with me to the drive-through. So, yeah, it all works, but, yeah, so like, art and animals would pretty much take up most of my time.
And your sons.
Oh, yeah.
You remember them.
Yeah, I do. I do.
You mentioned your children.
She said animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I just moved, and I finally have a studio again. So the last few months have been kind of setting up and finding all my stuff again that's been in boxes. So I'm just starting the painting now, so this was the latest.
It's locked.
This is, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Put on my coat.
I'd actually forgotten where I got this. I'm not sure, it was a photograph from some magazine or something that I had picked up, and so this is an acrylic painting. And I just like the, well, I particularly like sort of the drama down in here, and then a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, so I'm, recently retired. Used to do editorial cartoons in newspapers when I worked in newspapers. Did some of that, and then really didn't start painting until a little bit later. But yeah, so I mean, I wish I had. You were talking about your pictures and your family there, and I actually had. For my relatives, for my in-laws, they are from Meadville, and they had a grocery store up there, and I had a photograph of it was a sepia tone photograph, so I didn't really have real color for it, but I sort of wish I had brought that because it was, and I did it for for my in-laws. I did, special, sort of drawings like that. But
Where was this location?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think I had it around for a while, and I just don't remember where the location on where I got the photograph.
It looks almost like McConnell's Mills.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, McConnell's Mills, it looks like the,
It could be, but north of Meadville, there's a park north of Sippin Rock.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
park area that has all these things that look like that.
I think you're talking about McConnell's Mill.
No, I did my
That's what I was
first
gonna say.
painting at McConnell's Mill in 1962.
North of, between Meadville and here. There's some campground up there now.
what's it called, Cooper's?
So, yeah, so, all right, thank you.
Very nice. I love the colors that you have on that, the vibrant greens and the purples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sort of a drab day.
And there's the magic pink.
Magic pink. Who calls it magic pink?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Mary.
I'm not doing trees.
Seamus?
All right, so I'm, going to start off by showing you an old piece of work, because somebody mentioned the fact that they were interested in doing linoleum printing or relief printing using multiple blocks. So this is a print on a very soft Italian paper. And the reason that I used that paper was because there was need for embossing in the image. So this is from a project I did when I lived in Italy. And I was illustrating a series of poems by an Irish poet by the name of Padraig Feig. And Feig had written this poem which caught my imagination. It was called Winter on His Bride-to-be, Spring a Child. And the poem has this wonderful line in it. Well, let me sort of give you background. The poem talks about the relationship between spring and winter in terms of two characters from an Irish legend. The characters, the male character in it is Finn McCool, who in the story is he's a very significant, important chieftain, one of the most powerful men in the country. And he is having a banquet with his warriors, and one of the serving women is pregnant and her baby kicks and she cries out. The druid, seeing this, predicts that this child, when born, will be so beautiful that all of Ireland will go to war over her. So Finn is given the the unenviable choice of, should I let this happen? First of all, you have to assume that it will happen. Because that's the way these fates work in these stories. So what he decides is, like, I'm the most powerful man in the country. If I have her brought up in seclusion, never seeing mankind until she's brought to court to be married to me, then maybe we'll be able to avoid this fate. So she's brought up in seclusion, and when she reaches 16, she's brought to court to be married to Finn. Well, a mature man sending her off for 16 years. When she comes back, he's not quite as cute as he was back then. And so she looks around and she sees somebody that is damn cute. And his name is Diarmid. And she says, I'm the maiden in distress here. Chivalry demands that you run off with me. Okay. so that's the backstory. And they live happily, they escape from Finn, they live happily in Scotland for some time. Word comes from Ireland that all is forgiven. And Diarmid is homesick for Ireland. And he, talks Grania into coming back with him. And he's slaughtered, and all hell breaks loose, as was predicted. So that's the backstory. Now, the poet brings it down to the relationship of the seasons. And he does it through this verse. And the verse goes like this. Grania, it's the name of the girl, daughter of the house of art, is granted me as the sky grants the ground, the fall of the hawthorn flower, the seed-bearing gold bee, the brilliant red holly bird. So that gave me the idea of making it in the frame here. So the bee in this little roundel fertilizes the hawthorn flower, and then the hawthorn flower berries grow and feed the robin in the wintertime. Robin's a different animal from the robin here, not Robin Hill. So that's the basic story. So that bit, that series of grantings that stanza has in it, I put into there the grantings between spring and winter in the harvesting the berry. But the two characters, Grania and Finn, are also in the landscape, as is Diarmid, the boy with whom she ran off. Because if you turn it this way, and you look at the profile of white, you get the old man.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I see, yes.
And if you look at it the other way, there she is in the sky.
Where? Black.
Aww.
The sky.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens.
Okay, yeah. See, yeah.
So this is a reduction cut print. It's basically first cut. It's two jigsawed pieces. The silver, blue, and embossed part is on one, and then the piece that fits around it has, first of all, is printed in yellow, and the white is produced in that. Then it's overprinted in red, and then finally that block is cut away even further to create the gold lettering that goes all around it. And the gold lettering says winter on his, down at the bottom, bride to be along the top, spring a child along this edge. So it tells you to turn your head to look at the...
But it's a nice painting that tells a story, a really nice story.
That's beautiful.
Very interesting.
Very,
Cool.
clever, the turning of see the different images.
Yeah, so that one was, that's an old piece.
Is this something you would put them in? Yeah.
This is a drawing still on the board. I'm a musician as well, and I spend, you can just hand it right. I spend almost every Thursday evening in a bar somewhere in Pittsburgh. Playing Irish music. Playing Irish music. I knew that there was a guitarist here. Playing Irish music. I play whistle and mostly I sing. And so Irish music, singing, playing whistle, and playing harmonica.
Okay, we need to add it to our newsletter so we've got
So I was at an Irish music session in Cork Harbour back in the early summer last year, and there were two musicians that I was playing along with. The fiddler is a guy called Bear, and the guy playing the drum is a fabulous local dancer and singer called Connor Coleman. So Griff Bear is a fiddler, and Connor Coleman is the guy playing the boron drum. And so I took several photos of them because I loved the way that they were relating to each other as musicians, and it's something that I felt I wanted to do to just immortalize that communication between musicians, which is kind of at the heart of playing Irish music, where you're not really playing for an audience, you're playing for each other. It's called the session, and they are. It's all about the musicians talking to each other through the medium of music.
I love the cross-hatching you have in there.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress, as we said.
Is it going to stay drawing, or are you going to do prints?
If I do anything to it, I like it as, I was trained as an etcher, and so I think very much in terms of the textures of the different grades of pencil. In the same way as when you're doing an intaglio print, you're playing with different types of black and grey, and the textures of the various things. So for instance, in some of my prints, my etching prints, where I need a really rich black, I will literally scratch the surface of the metal plate, and that throws up a burr of metal, and that catches a lot of ink. And then when you print it, it has such a rich velvety texture, and so I'm doing things like that with the print. Like I say, there's another hour or two's work still needs to go into that to make it where I'm happy with it.
It's really cool. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Are you watching Blue Lights? Have you seen Blue Lights yet? The TV show in Belfast?
Thank you for letting me know that.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's about the Troubles.
Well, I was in art school during the Troubles, and the building across the street from the College of Art and Design on York Street in Belfast was the biggest department store in the north of Ireland. It was called the Co-op, and it was bombed 3 times in the course of the 4 years that I was there. So it was, some of my other work relates to that period,
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone's interested, my portfolio is online at this. I can just quickly show you this. Cooperative tablet.
At the Penn State site?
It's, go to portfolio dot, look for seamusportfolio.psu.edu. Sites.psu.edu.
Oh, got it.
Sites.psu.edu, Seamus Portfolio, SEAMUS. I mean, it has like a selection of work from all of the periods of my artistic production. So
Thank you so much for sharing.
SEAMUS, Seamus, Seamus Portfolio. You can do that as a Google search, it will get you it as well. Sites.psu.edu, Seamus Portfolio.
Hey, Leah. No, Leah's next.
Okay. I have birds.
Oh my God.
There's 31 of them.
Now,
31
where did
birds.
you get to take that from like that? Where'd you get the?
Okay, good question.
They were in her yard.
No. So there was an Instagram challenge in October called Birdtober, and I love birds. One of my students said to me, Miss Shuck, are you gonna do Birdtober? And I said, are you gonna do Birdtober? And she said, I want to, but I'm afraid I won't be able to do one every day. And I said, well, do you drive? And she said, yes, I do drive. And I said, well, why don't you stay after school and we'll do Birdtober together. So somebody overheard our conversation and they said, you guys are gonna stay after school and draw birds? Can I stay? And I was like, okay. And then like another kid was like, can I stay? And I was like, okay. And then I was like, do you guys think that other kids like want to do this? Like, should we do Birdtober? So I advertised it to my students and I had like this whole little group of nerds and we all just like, bird nerds.
The bird nerds.
So this took a really long time, so I drew the birds each day in October, but then it took me 2 months to go back in and then actually like paint it all. Yeah.
What medium is that?
How'd
Is
you
that a
students do?
They did it in their sketchbook.
But I'm just saying.
Oh, they did well. Yeah, they did well. It was really fun.
What medium is that?
This is acrylic on illustration board.
That's what I thought.
I kind of wish I had done masonite board because then I could have done a little bit more with texture, you know, because the illustration board doesn't want to accept a lot of wet medium. But, you know, I was at school and I just used what I had on hand. And then this frame I got from the Buy Nothing group. Because I do a lot of like sustainable.
Oh, you found a frame to fit it.
Well, I made this to fit the frame
yeah.
first. So I had these frames for years because when there's good frames on the Buy Nothing, I want it. But it took me a long time to make pieces because I like the long skinny composition. It's a bit different. So yeah, and so every day they told you a bird to draw, and so I came up with this composition. To incorporate all of them. Obviously they're not to scale, but then on the last day you got to pick a bird. So I picked the weaver bird from when I was in South Africa at my sister-in-law's house. And there was a weaver bird's nest on their porch, but it was really incredible because the weaver birds built it like a condominium nest. So it was one weaver bird nest and then another one wove another one underneath of it and then another one wove another one underneath of it. So it was 3 weaver birds nests right in a row. So that's the one I chose to
My
add.
favorite bird is that.
The Wyandotte chicken.
What is it?
It's the Wyandotte chicken. I like the green ones. The green ones are my favorite. The green pigeon.
I like the eyes on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would look nice hanging in the main entrance of the aviary.
You send them an email, let
I'm
me know
gonna
what
call
they say. But I think that I'll put this one in the spring show probably, maybe in the animal show at the Twin Falls Art Center. And then I'm doing another bird challenge right now too.
I'm trying to do that with you. I am.
It's called I don't know what it's called, bird challenge or something.
Yeah.
But that one is a new one. It's for January. You do a bird every day. And I'm actually keeping up with that one, and I'm doing them this big. So it won't take me 3 months to do it.
I'm a little behind now, but I'm catching up.
I'm proud of myself.
That's very cool.
You play wingspan?
Wingspan is what reinvigorated my love of birds. All female artist engine building game. I have every expansion pack.
And I just read that they're doing a few more continents. They're in the works.
It's called Bird Fest.
No, I'm not doing Dragon Ocean, but they have the same artist that did the butterfly one. We bought that one, the Mariposa.
Oh, yeah, she did a mushroom one too.
My daughter gave me a bird feeder for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, you gotta have a bird buddy.
The one with the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought.
Oh, yeah.
The one with the cameras that you put on all your phones?
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't put it up. Like 250.
My other daughter gave me a bird sketch.
Bird rescues.
Oh, that'd be
Do they have
great.
bird rescues?
Well, you had the one a couple years ago. Yeah.
I remember the chickens being.
What about the, by that, the library that you had your show that you painted on the walls and all?
We got our next one.
There's a bird,
You're fine.
Upper St. Clair.
So I like to do photography, in addition to watercolor and some other things. And this is a photograph from Vermont, where I was in the winter a couple of years ago. And I love the scenery.
Beautiful.
Do you know these people?
I did not.
Maybe there's a lot of Amish up there? That's near the golf course?
Stowe, Vermont. It's in Stowe, Vermont.
Yeah,
That sounds
but
good.
that's not by the northern part, nor the big golf course and all kinds of cheese factories.
I want to go to the cheese factory.
Yeah, that's really that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful trees.
Yeah, I love the colors and
And
the
it's
mountains,
so subtle.
the birch trees.
And I like.
And it's almost black and white, but it's not a black and white photo.
Yeah.
So there's just a little bit of color,
Yeah.
browns and.
Look how
Little blue.
blue travels.
Can you tell us the name of the artist?
You introduce yourself, yeah.
Oh. My name is Margarete.
Thank you.
Margarete Garber Boris. So that's this one. And then
Very subtle.
I've also printed some photos on metal. And I should give Jim credit because he did a presentation at the Beaver Valley Artist Group, and I thought, wow, I love
Yes.
Yeah, that's very
metal. So this is Beaver County. And yeah,
Where?
In the woods.
Economy.
Anywhere in Beaver County.
Close to my backyard.
Oh, that's where you live.
Yeah.
Oh, you live.
That's my neighbor's property.
You live on, across the river, never mind.
Over the river, through the woods.
No, in Beaver County.
Yeah, I know, but never mind.
I like how there's 3 distinct layers of depth to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the trees look silver. That really makes it stand out.
Yeah, the metal's really
It's the
coming
metal.
through that, yeah.
Metal makes it pop.
Yeah. And it's also not a black and white photo. However, with the snow and the trees, it's almost like a black and white.
Yeah.
So did you say that was originally a photo?
It is, it's a photo. printed on metal.
Yes, right.
Very nice.
I don't have any long stories.
No stories.
Next time you'll have longer stories. You'll be good.
When she said
You can tell us about the cheese factory.
she's on the right side of the 65,
Right.
not in that part of Beaver, not the other part down by
I guess I have one very
Towards
long one.
Beaver Falls and Beaver.
Yeah, it's
that
closer to like Ambridge, like Swickley, Ambridge economy, yeah.
The civilized part.
It's sort of halfway between the Ohio River and Cranberry.
Yeah.
So this is I just did that this morning actually, so it's still a work in progress. But it's a watercolor drawing, so this kind of a winter wreath is the idea. I'll still have to add a little more depth to it, but that's today's work.
Nice.
Since it said recent.
Well done.
That's the most recent one.
Very good.
I only brought one picture because I don't have an opportunity to do too much painting of things I really want to do, because I do a lot of commission stuff.
Oh, nice.
But the commission stuff I do is portraits, so I don't do as much. I don't do as much. And I used to do a lot of oils. I belonged to this organization many years ago. Actually, I was president of this at one time. But I got involved, like my husband, things were going on there, watching grandkids and that, and I have so many paintings hanging in my house, and a lot of portraits, and I wish I could have brought a portrait. Most of them are on my phone because, like I said, they're commissioned work. This is my road. I'm out in the rural area, so a lot of what I do, I just take pictures of my yard and areas around me. I have a barn hanging in my house, but anyway, I'm just down the road past these trees and down there, but anyway. So that's all I've had time to really do over the last few years, other than the commissions. Last year I did my daughter's house for her. I painted her house. I wish I could have brought that because that was even nicer, but, so, anyway.
Is it acrylic?
It's oil, actually.
It is oil, because I saw it, it looks like it had texture as you were walking by.
There's a lot of texture in it,
Yeah.
There's a lot of texture.
Yeah, the branches looked like they were, yeah.
Right. So,
That's
yeah, so that's pretty much all I have to say. Yeah, I wish I could show you some of I do so much commission, I want to paint more, and I have so many photos over the years that I've been taking, and I just haven't gotten around to doing any of them. Yeah. By watching your grandkids and doing all kind of other stuff, and involved in volunteering at the food bank and stuff like that, and it's taken a lot of my time now. So I gotta get back into this. My son already wants me to do a portrait of James Jameson. He was a bass guitar player, because my son's in a band and he's a bass guitar player, so I gotta get working on that. I got some other commission work to do, so hopefully I'll get to do something for the show.
Hopefully, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And anyway, that's...
Yeah, this,
Well, I live in, like,
Looking
near
up James
Hopestown, down that way. Yeah, you know where Hopestown is? Yeah, I live right off of Route,
68?
I live off of Third.
That way.
I live off of Third, like where Third
Way out
is
that
coming
way.
into Ohio.
How do I even
We're
describe it?
5 minutes away from it.
Listen for the banjos.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, okay, yeah.
If you hear banjos, turn around.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, it's going.
Yeah, I lived in
Wrong direction.
But originally from the
West, kind of like southwest,
South.
Oh, near the river.
slightly south.
This is Hannibal.
Yeah, by the nuclear power plant.
Go west. So like.
Go west from the nuclear power plant.
Going toward
If you
East
end up in
Liverpool.
Ohio, you've gone
East
too far.
Liverpool, Ohio, and.
Okay, you want to sell me something, want to build a...
If you hear
It's
banjos,
like,
turn
like,
around.
seriously, it's far, yeah.
Right, yeah.
handle the banjos.
Yeah.
Oh, way
Turn
out,
back.
way out, yeah, we go up there, are we done? I've been to Chris's house.
I think so.
Yeah, I've been there for 20 years.
Do you have written on there? I do. Domenica's not.
Oh, I looked up James Jamerson.
Did you?
Yeah.
Bass player. He did Motown, he was
Yeah, Motown.
Motown stuff, yes, yes.
This is
I've
truly
done a lot of things like Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan,
less
I
time
have all
on
these. I wish I could show them.
Yeah, I
could have brought them,
babysit,
but
now my husband is in the hospital for like a week during the holidays, so I'm babysitting him, and I'm babysitting grandkids, and I'm babysitting everybody. I have been a watercolorist at heart since I was a little girl, and actually this is a board my dad made for me in high school because I took watercolor. I won a watercolor competition in junior high actually, and it was at the Chagrin Falls Valley Art Center. It's called, and it's just down the road from where I think Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged somewhere in Chagrin Falls. But anyway, this board, I still use it. My dad made it for me.
That's so special.
I started, last spring, I started taking Cindy's classes, studio kind of, just to do something. I needed something to get out of the house. And this is a watercolor, and she's telling me I always use teeny tiny brushes.
Nothing wrong with it.
Trying to do photorealism. Cindy says, Audra, bigger brush, and then Josette Baker also shows up there a lot.
I talked to her.
This, I'm going to credit, is she okay? I'm going to
Yeah,
credit.
we all go out to lunch together.
I'm going to credit this to Josette because this is something new I'm trying to do. This is a photo I took off of the television, off of the show, and it shows a reflection. And I always wanted to do a painting titled Saturday Morning Reflections. So this is the sketch. And then I showed up Tuesday, and Josette was showing a painting she did where she wanted texture under her watercolor. So she took like a modeling paste and stencils. So of course I went home, ordered modeling paste and stencils on Amazon, and I decided to use, so if you could, I'll pass this around, you could touch it. I did a modeling paste on the stencil to get this texture that goes perfectly with the kind of painting and kind of mood I want to get. So this is basically just, I started doing the watercolor of the reflection. Hopefully I'll finish it for our show in April.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
I just didn't imagine that the watercolor would stick to that, but I guess it does have to it, yeah.
So I don't know if this would be considered multimedia. She said it's still watercolor because it's just.
Because of the water.
I made cards when she showed us how to do that.
Yeah.
And I made all these greeting cards with that.
She's just making.
See that?
I love, and even here, West Hills Art League, I always did watercolor, and I always said I can never do oil. And we had an oil demonstrator, and I went home, of course, and bought oils. I did an oil portrait. I said I could never do portraits. Someone came in and did a portrait in an hour. I got acrylics. I did a portrait. It's, yeah, inspiration.
Maybe I'll try that. I have the paste.
Very nice. And it does say, at least on an initial search, using modeling paste under a watercolor automatically makes it a mixed media.
Mixed media.
Well, Google said it is mixed media.
Yeah, it automatically
There you go.
makes it mixed media.
Okay.
So that's according to Google.
Anybody else?
Now, anybody else?
Anybody?
No, well, thank you all
Bueller?
so much for sharing your beautiful artwork and for coming out tonight and sharing the potluck snacks. And, you know, the suggestion was maybe we need food all the time to get many people here. But anybody who wants to bring something is always welcome.